Hi folks, and welcome to Fantasy Football Geek YouTube channel. So I'm Rob, one of the contributors, and I'm here with my team thoughts for game week 8. Had a couple of weeks off now. Hope you all enjoyed the international break, whatever you were doing. I know some people like it to take a bit of a step back from football and do some other things. I'm obviously a Scotland fan, so international breaks are usually very nervous for me and not good for the blood pressure. This one was no exception on this occasion. We left it very, very late against Israel to bail ourselves out of what was a terrible first half performance. And then we also left it very late in the Faroe Isles as well to salvage a victory in what was a very poor performance, particularly in the first half. And the Faroes really should have scored a couple of goals. So yeah, pretty happy with the results at the end though, and good to see Scotland in with a great shout now of getting into the playoffs, one win away. So fingers crossed for November. Anyway, back to matters FPL. Game week 7 seems a bit of a long way away now, but here's a little quick review of how my team did. So I'm a couple of weeks post wildcard now. Played in game week 5, had a good return in game week 5, a small red arrow in game week 6, but I've had a good game week 7. I know a lot of people had fairly sort of scant returns this week, but I managed 53 points, which was good enough to nearly halve my rank. So that was really pleasing in that respect. Stars of the show: Jimenez, 2 assists and bonus. Brilliant, good differential pick. And then the 0-0 Arsenal and Brighton on Saturday evening. Duffy and Ramsdale coming through on that one. Lukaku captain, disappointing not to return, pretty unlucky as well. Goal chopped off for offside, which would have been a Rudiger assist as well. And then, a really bad miss near the end, and then somehow managed to miss out on an assist at the same time as well as Aspilicueta banged against the bar. So blank for Captain Lukaku. But how about Mo Salah on Sunday? He was just absolutely fantastic, wasn't he? And fair play to any of you who captain Mo. Maybe we should just put the captaincy on him every week. He's just in great form at the moment, and that goal was just brilliant, wasn't it? A real contender for goal of the season already. So a good game week 7. Pleased with how it got on. Managed to roll a transfer as well, so I've got 2 going this week, which I'll have a bit of a chat about later on. Maybe a bit late to the party on this one, but just a few words on the international break. I know it's the Thursday before the deadline. I had planned to try and get this video done a little bit earlier, but been a bit up against it time-wise. But if you're not on your wild card, guys, don't rush into your transfers. Try and leave them as late as you possibly can. The deadline's Saturday morning. It's not a Friday deadline this week. Try and make your moves late on Friday night, even Saturday morning. Get all the pressures out of the way. Get as much information as you can. Don't forget there's embargoed news that comes out for some clubs at sort of 11 o'clock UK time on Friday night as well, so that can kind of add a bit of information. I'm recording this on Thursday, so there's some pressers today that might give you some information as well. Keep an eye on what players have played over the international break, what minutes they've got under their belt, what their travel times are like. I know there's some doubts about the players playing in South and Central America. We've had Jimenez play very early this morning for Mexico. I'd anticipate he'll get back to the UK in time, but what sort of shape's he going to be in? Rafinha is scheduled to play early Friday morning, so he's got a very, very tight turnaround, as do the rest of the Brazilian players to get them back for the weekend games. So, really pay close attention to this, guys, and don't rush in on your transfers. You have to think pretty sort of carefully there. Quite a lot of people wildcarding this week. It's a good week to wildcard, I think. I was ideally targeting this week, but then had to go a couple of weeks early because of various other factors. But if you are wildcarding, I hope you've been banking a few price rises if you can over the last sort of week and a half. And I look forward to seeing some teams on Twitter and on social media on Friday night and Saturday morning. There's going to be some good wildcard structures out there, I think. So just a few thoughts sort of moving forward over the next few weeks. John's put the fixture schedule up on the site a few days ago, so have a good look at that. Chelsea and Leeds still, right at the top there are some good fixtures coming up, and then some good fixture clusters for other teams as well. Manchester City have got this really nice game week 8 to game week 10, so I think this is a good chance to target their defence, get someone like Cancelo or Diaz into your team. You're gonna probably bag some clean sheets over these 3 weeks, but then probably more. I mean, they've got 5 already this season in the 7 fixtures. We know from last season how solid they are defensively. A player even a double up on the City defenders, I think could be a fruitful option moving forward. Southampton have got a really nice run of 5 fixtures now as well, and they've got some really good budget assets. Livramento is an absolute bargain at 4.2 in defence, and quite easily fill in or even be a player in your starting lineup. He's got some good attacking prospects as well. I also really like the look of Armstrong at 6 million in attack. He's got some good fixtures here, and he showed some promise so far this season. So there's some options there. And Brentford moving forward as well. Tony and Blamo have really sort of showed their form in the last sort of couple of weeks, and I think they're going to be fixtures in quite a few teams coming up. And they've got some good defenders as well. If I was on my wild card this week, I know Sanchez is a popular choice for goalkeeper in that 4.5 bracket. Got Ramsdale, 4.6 popular as well. He's certainly pretty pleased with him in my team over the last few weeks. But I think the Brentford keeper Raya is a really nice option if you're on your wild card as well. So things to think about there. And then on the negative fixture wise, Manchester United are quite close to a much trickier run, which then ends I think around about game week 13 when they've got the Manchester derby, and then turns very green again. So there'll be a lot of people with triple United in their team. They're going to have Shaw, Ronaldo, plus maybe one more as well. Certainly a lot of people double United. So I think this might be a good time to offload Luke Shaw. I think if you're not on a 3 premium strategy, which not many of you are sort of like me, this might be a good time to hop off Ronaldo and hop onto another premium. Although the Leicester United fixture from this week, it is a fixture which traditionally does throw up a few goals. I don't think there's been a 0-0 in this fixture since the late 1990s. And neither side really has been in particularly good form defensively. United themselves certainly got some injuries at the back. We've got Maguire injured, and Rafael Varane has been injured over the international break as well. And Leicester have had their sort of struggles, struggling to sort of gel a bit at the back. I think as much as anything, they had some injury problems at the start of the season. Are starting to clear, but taking a bit of time. So it might be a good week to hang on to Ronaldo this week on that basis. And he has had a good international break with a hat trick in midweek as well, so he'll be coming in on good spirits. I've put this week's fixtures up on the side there, just the ones to sort of target as well. I think the early fixture on Saturday, Watford versus Liverpool, is going to be a popular one for captaincy, and Mo Salah after last week, it's going to be a standout captain pick on the polls. We'll see what sort of comes of that Saturday morning. Manchester City, Burnley. Burnley have an awful record against Manchester City in the Premier League. There's been several thumpings. If Burnley concede early, that could be 4-0, that could be 5-0. If you're looking for 3-week punt and you don't mind a bit of pep roulette, how about Torres, Phil Foden? Foden was superb in that Liverpool game. Grealish worth considering as well. Gabriel Jesus, I wouldn't rule out, but again, check his minutes from coming back from Brazil. So a few to consider there. We're all keeping a bit of an eye on who plays Norwich each week at the moment. They're really struggling defensively. It's Brighton's turn this week. Brighton have got a couple of tricky fixtures afterwards, so I think if you're going with Mopey or Trossard or one of these guys, it's a 1-week punt. But it could be a good week for someone like Shane Duffy. He's registering a lot of attempts and things like that, so maybe it's his week to get a goal. So we'll see how we get on there. And then looking a bit further down Sunday, Newcastle Spurs I think will be a really interesting game. Newcastle are going to have it's going to be a big bounce about stadium this Sunday. As the Saudi takeover has finally happened. Mike Ashley's finally left. Obviously, not much changing personnel-wise for the moment. There's a lot of rumours going on here in the northeast that Steve Bruce's days are numbered. But I think if he's serious about staying on, then he's got to prove himself to the new owners, and whether we'll see Newcastle be a bit more expansive to kind of satisfy the style of football that the fans want. I don't know. I don't know if Bruce is capable of that or not. He traditionally has been quite a sort of defensive manager. But this could be a good fixture for Spurs to target. If Newcastle decide that Bruce decides that he does need to play a bit more open, then I think it's a fixture that's made for Son, who he loves to counter attack, and we all saw kind of last season, particularly at the start of last season, he was getting 3 goals, 4 goals, things like that. How dangerous he can be. So yeah, some good fun fixtures this week. I'm expecting goals, so let's see how we get on. So right, here's my lot for this week. So I've got 2 frees, I've got 0.4 million in the bank, and I've got 4 players yellow flagged. Ouch. Probably isn't as bad as it looks on paper. So Klopp, I think, said yesterday that Trent Alexander-Arnold's been training, so he looks fit. So I expect him to turn green again at some point in the next couple of days. Rafinha, mentioned earlier, international break, so tight for time coming round. I think we need to hear what Bielsa's got to say in his press conference to give us some clues there. And flags on the 2 Chelseas. I'm hoping these are international break, I say in inverted commas, injuries, and that they've maybe got a minor niggle and it's a less important game, and they've gone back to their clubs as a precaution. Certainly with Lukaku, Belgium lost their Nations League semi-final, and the second game was effectively a dead rubber third place playoff. So it's probably not too surprising he might got rested for that. And Rudiger, Germany wrapped up their qualifications, so I think they realised they could probably afford to rotate players. So again, hopefully we'll get some clues from Thomas Tuchel in the press conference as to the exact injury situation with these two. I won't hold my breath with Tuchel. I kind of file him in a similar bracket to Guardiola and Smith at Villa as well. They're notoriously evasive in their press conferences, so we'll see what we get. So my original plan this week, when I'd sort of looked at this a few weeks out, is that I was going to change Jimenez for a cheaper striker to then free up some funds, and then I could reinvest in defence. The problem with this is Jimenez has been in really good form in the last couple of days, and last couple of games, I'm also a bit wary of taking out players who are in form. So I'm going to mull this one over a bit, but if I was going to do that move, it would be Jimenez to someone like Armstrong for those nice run of fixtures. And then I'd use the money that sort of generates to upgrade Marçal on the bench, and he would become Cancelo. So yeah, we'll see how we get on. I have got a couple of other thoughts floating around my head. There's one thought where I just use one free transfer and I change my non-playing defender and get Livramento in, which is just doable with the budget I've got. There's another thought process where I sell Ronaldo early. I have looked to maybe hold him this week and maybe hold him for another. Or maybe shift them on next week, or just stick with my 3 premium strategy, in which case Ronaldo would probably become someone like Antonio, and then that would give me the funds to bring that City defender in, and then a bit to spend elsewhere next week. So I've got a few thoughts sort of going through my head, but I think I'm probably still going to stick with my plan A, which will be Jimenez to someone like Armstrong, and then Marçal to Cancelo. Rest of my team selection pretty much picks itself. So if Cancelo's coming in, I'll just have a bit of a decision as to whether I maybe bench Gallagher. I'll wait for Rafinha. If he's confirmed as out, then he's an easy benching then, and that sorts that out. And I've been set on Mo Salah as captain for since the end of game week 7, basically. I think Lukaku's another possible choice of people this week. Ronaldo's a choice this week as well. And we rule out someone like Alexander-Arnold either if you fancy a bit of a punt. So that's me. for game week 8. I'll put my team on Twitter probably on Saturday morning, as I usually do. Probably be a short write-up on the website as well, probably on Friday night, something like that. But good luck for this game week. If you're on your wild card, I'm looking forward to seeing your team on social media if that's what you do. Otherwise, I hope you enjoy the game, Sam. Hopefully there'll be plenty of goals. And I'll see you in game week 9. And don't forget, if you like our channel, click like and subscribe. We really appreciate that. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.